Do you guys have a feeling that the medication isn't working very well right now? Do you know why? It's because there's a hidden rule in the pharmaceutical industry, which is, you can't stop taking your medication. For example, there is a disease called hepatitis C in the world. Have you heard of hepatitis B? You have heard of hepatitis B, right? You may not have heard of hepatitis C because it's a minority disease with only 20 to 30 million patients worldwide. However, once you have this disease, it's very annoying. Just like high blood pressure, you have to take medication for the rest of your life. In China, a listed company has developed a special drug with a 100% cure rate for hepatitis C. Once it was introduced to the market, it was very popular and made a lot of money. However, its performance collapsed after a year. Why? Because once hepatitis C is cured, there is no more money to be made. As a result, their colleagues in the pharmaceutical industry are criticizing them. This fool thinks we can't make it. He broke the hidden rules and deserved to lose his job. Therefore, do you know what kind of diseases medical organizations like most in many medical fields? Chronic diseases, which can't be cured at once and require a lifetime of drug purchases. This is senior Chinese investor Tianwei Hua in a speech to reveal the inside workings of the Chinese pharmaceutical industry. The drug's effect is poor, so the patient can't stop taking it. You have to keep taking it so that the pharmaceutical companies can make money. Let's take a similar but even more extreme example. A boss of a branding company was invited by a pharmaceutical group to do brand planning. In 2002, I started my own brand strategy company, and once the person in charge of a certain pharmaceutical group offered me a very high compensation to help them do their annual brand planning. As such a large pharmaceutical group, they have a large safe which is full of prescriptions bought from universities and colleges all over the world, including medical institutions, all kinds of prescriptions with real therapeutic effects. Then I said, with so many prescriptions, many chronic diseases that can't be cured and require long-term medication will be saved. The person in charge of the pharmaceutical company said, "Good medicine isn't good merchandise." Oh my god, I was shocked when I heard that and knew what he meant. I was very upset, but I kept my anger down and asked him what kind of medicine was a good product. He said that the kind of medicine that is good when you take it, but bad when you don't, is called good merchandise. I was really angry at the time, and I said, "Why don't you sell marijuana? You don't need me to help you make your brand." What's the point of branding a company like this? Do you know why people are suffering from so many diseases now? It's not that we can't do anything about it, it's that medicine is locked up by these interests. Manufacturing and producing poorly effective drugs to achieve long-term profitability is still only one of the means by which drug companies make money. Recently, the China Antitrust Enforcement Annual Report 2023, released by the China General Administration of Market Supervision, revealed a set of data. The government investigated and punished 4 enterprises, including Wuhan Huihai and Shanghai Pharmaceuticals Biochemicals, in 2023, which started with monopolizing the import of raw materials and then controlled the entire chain of production, purchase, and sale of pharmaceutical products so as to achieve the goal of arbitrarily pricing of such drugs, and gained huge profits. Subsequently, these 4 pharmaceutical companies were fined RMB 1.2 billion. The cause of the incident was that the raw materials for the production of injectable polymyxin B sulfite had to be imported from abroad. In April 2010, Wuhan Huihai signed the raw material pharmaceutical supply agreement with Denmark's Yaxeli and sold the raw materials after monopolizing them with a price increase of 12 to 62 times. For example, purchasing some raw materials overseas ranges from RMB 73 to 94 per gram. However, once Chinese pharmaceutical companies import these raw materials into China, the price escalates dramatically to between RMB 18,000 and 35,000. As a result, the cost of one kind of injection made of these raw materials should be RMB 15, but it sells domestically for nearly RMB 3,000. This is tens of times higher than what it would be overseas. The raw material of this drug is polymyxin B sulfate for injection, which has long been controlled by 3 companies, namely Wuhan Huihai, Wuhan Kode, and Hebei Minkong. Although they're 3 companies, they're basically managed by one family. In 2015, they found SJM Biochemical and agreed that they would provide the raw materials and SJM Biochemical would be responsible for the production. So SJM Biochemical also became the only injectable polymyxin bisulfate production enterprise in China. In the process, they each performed their own duties and worked closely together, making full use of their monopoly position over the drug in China and jointly raising the price of the drug. People have always said that imported medicines are expensive, but I didn't realize that some domestic companies now have even darker hearts. The price of drugs is related to the national economy and people's livelihood, and it's shocking to see that the price of a drug often doubles 100 times. How many patients have lost all their money in order to take medicines to save their lives, while these pharmaceutical companies are making huge profits without taking care of human lives? It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that they're murdering people for money. None of those responsible for these chains of interest should be let off the hook. There are even more serious cases of counterfeiting in which the medicine doesn't even contain the ingredients of the medicine. An expert from China State Science and Technology Commission tested an injection for cancer treatment and found that it was filled with water, no medicine at all. This is a kind of medicine against many kinds of advanced cancers, including ovarian cancer. This medicine has been sold for decades, and it used to be sold for several $1,000s a piece, but now it costs RMB $100 a piece. A large factory in Beijing asked me to test this drug to see if it was qualified. I did the test at Peking University. The main ingredient inside is simply zero. It's water. Many people have terminal cancer and need this drug to save their lives. The main ingredient here is equal to zero and won't do anything. Let me tell you, I'm an expert in Western medicine. The problems with Western medicine in China are many times greater than those with Chinese medicine. The price of an injection is several thousand RMB. How much does it cost to produce 10,000 injections at a time? And how much does it cost the patients? How many patients have been using this ineffective medicine? And they're already in the terminal stage of cancer, which is really harmful to the people. Not only that, some unscrupulous businessmen in mainland China are also doing a business called return medicine. Let's take a look at a video posted by an outstanding entrepreneur of Chinese medicine to understand what is called return medicine. What happened was that some people took advantage of some loopholes in the health insurance policy to induce some members of the public with health insurance to overprescribe medicines. And a patient even purchased enough medicines for 15 years of use in a short span of just 3 months. These drugs are then purchased at low prices and resold at high prices, forming a complete chain of interests. These purchased and resold drugs are called reflux drugs. The storage and transportation conditions of reflux medicine are extremely poor. They're casually stacked in dark and humid basements with no protection against light or refrigeration. Worse still, some expired or soon-to-be expired drugs are repackaged. Their production date is tampered with, and they are then reintroduced into the market. Once taken by patients, these poor quality medicines may reduce their efficacy or jeopardize their lives. In addition to posing an extremely serious threat to public health, this behavior is also a crazy invasion of the National Health Insurance Fund. The medical insurance fund is the public's life-saving money, and every dollar of it should be utilized in a reasonable manner. However, these unscrupulous people have taken advantage of some flaws in the system to continuously cheat, bringing huge economic losses to society and the public. Why can China make anything but not medicine? Why don't foreigners buy our drugs? It's because our drugs are so bad that they don't cure or kill anyone, and the profits are so high that it's scary. Our pharmaceutical companies don't spend money on research and development because our drugs are copied and imitated by others and don't require any research and development costs. The National Audit Office's recent report on the audit of Guangdong's pharmaceutical industry said that from 2021 to May 2023, the total revenue of the top 50 enterprises in Guangdong Province in terms of pharmaceutical production value was RMB 151.1 billion. The total cost was RMB 79.7 billion. The total sales cost was RMB 44.6 billion. And the total investment in technological research and development was only RMB 2.9 billion. Pharmaceuticals is originally a combination of scientific research and technology enterprises. In the entire Guangdong province, the top 50 enterprises' combined R&D costs add up to less than $400 million, while only the US Pfizer, a pharmaceutical company, invests R&D costs of $14 billion a year. The money these companies spend on sales is 18 times more than their R&D expenses. Why is the cost of sales high in China? Because China's healthcare market is neither marketized nor fully regulated by the state. It's a freak. For example, hospitals can buy drugs on their own, while the price of drugs is set by the Medical Insurance Bureau. In order to get through these relationships and sell more of their own drugs, they need more money for relationships, meetings, red packets, and kickbacks. The sell-in expenses are added to the price of the drug, and in the end, the people who end up paying for this are ordinary people, ordinary patients. This is just an introduction to the problems of Chinese pharmaceutical companies. Now, let's look at the situation of overseas companies selling drugs in China. At the end of October this year, Wang Lei, the president of AstraZeneca China, a well-known multinational pharmaceutical company, was investigated. The incident was caused by the fact that in April 2021, a medical representative of AstraZeneca in Yibin, Sichuan Province, in order to increase the sales volume of the lung cancer drug Theresa, faked a positive report of a genetic test to defraud the health insurance fund. Over the past 3 years, similar cases have come to light in Shenzhen, Fujian, and Jiangxi. Dozens of AstraZeneca employees have been convicted of fraud. The cases led to an upward chain of accusations until Wang Lei, the #1 man in China, was detained for investigation. Zhang Zhezhuan, who worked as a salesman for AstraZeneca, was threatened with death in 2016 when he tried to expose AstraZeneca's bribery of the government, among other issues. AstraZeneca's metrics were very heavy, and every rep had to exceed them. They were directly related to our income. Many reps are pressured by the company to do illegal things, including monetary bribery, sexual bribery, and over-indication promotion, like insurance fraud. In order to get doctors and patients to use more drugs, they will do promotion beyond the patient's indications, as well as modify the genetic test and go for increased use of the drug to increase sales. And the doctor gets more kickbacks from it. Zhang also revealed that corruption is rampant in China from top to bottom, and foreign companies have to follow the custom in China by making connections and giving kickbacks to achieve results. The reason why they do this has to do with China's deformed medical system. Whether it's the UK, the US, whether it's Pfizer, whether it's AstraZeneca, whether it's Novo Nordisk, whether it's GlaxoSmithKline, all these Fortune 500 foreign companies, their culture must be anti-corruption, but that's not the case in China. You have to realize that to accomplish anything in China, you have to go through bribery. No money, then you don't talk to me. These things are pressed on the medical representatives by the upper echelons to do so. The leaders of the Chinese, like Wang Lei, must be well informed. And the whole circle is doing the same thing, and there isn't a single medical representative whose hands are clean. Zhang also said that behind every large foreign company operating in China, there are government connections, mostly the second generation of the Reds who stand up for them. When a foreign company enters China, it's all about government relations, and every foreign company has its own government relations department. The government of the Chinese Communist Party itself and the country that she controls is corrupt from top to bottom. I don't have money, I can't do anything. From top to bottom, from the government to the hospitals, they only look at money and benefits. If you don't give me money, then I won't allow you to sell your medicine, or I won't purchase your medicine. Because it's a money society, it's not a faith society, it's not a loving society, it's not a society that treats people as human beings. It's a society that treats humans as walking ATMs, or even as animals. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.